Yes, one.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Welcome for today's continuous discussion on this Nectar of Devotion. So, my apologies. Formerly, you know that my last class I couldn't complete. So today I decided we start all over again. All right, we start from the quality number 40 on Nectar of Devotion. So the quality number 40, it is in the page
79.
178. Yes, 178, 179. Okay, so we start. So as usual, before we start, let's do our invocation prayer. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapidam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Karamayam Dadati Swapradikam. Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Uttaparakamlam Sri Gurun Vaishnavam Cha Sri Rupam Sagarjadam Shahagara Raghunathan Vidam Tam Sajivam Satvaita Savaduta Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakan Vidam Cha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimadi Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pasacharisatarine Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimadi Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Namine Shri Varshabhanavi Devi Daitai Kripa Daye Krishna Sambandha Viknana Daine Prabhave Namaha Madhuryo Jola Premadya Sri Rupanuga Bhaktira Shri Gaura Karuna Shakti Vigrahaya Namastute Namaste Gauramani Shri Murtai Dina Tarini Rupanuga Vridapasiddhanta Tarini Namo Gaura Kishoraya Sakshat Vairagya Murtai Vipralambara Sambode Padam Pujayate Namaha Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Sachidanandana Mine Gaura Shakti Sarupai Rupanuga Vrayate Gaura Virbhava Bhumesto Nidesa Sajana Priya Vaishnava Sarubhama Sri Jagannathayate Namaha Pancha Kalpatarubhascha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Paritanam Pavinibhyo Vaishnavyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Garutisi Namaha Pancha Tattvatmakam Krishnam Bhakta Rupa Swarupakam Bhakta Avadaram Bhakta Akyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kantarada Kantanustate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavani Suri Vrishabhanusteri Pranamami Hari Priye Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivishari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Krishna Putri Shrimati Jayapataka Swami Tirani Namacharya Padani Takapa Pradani Gaura Katha Damadayana Gramatari Hare Krishna. So, Hare Krishna. So, I'm grateful to all of you for joining us today. So, today we're going to continue our discussion on Nectar of Devotion. Starting, okay, we just continue back on the place that we have missed last week. Okay. So, we are discussing on the 64 qualities of Sri Krishna. Okay. Why we are studying the 64 qualities? That's when we, because after the first wave, the second wave, it is more into establishing Krishna as a supreme personality and love to him, invoke prema. Okay, prema. So after that, there'll be elaboration on all the qualities of Sri Krishna and how a devotee from sadhaka level. Okay, first we started as sadhaka or neophyte devotee starting off. Then from there, we come into bhava. How we go to bhava? By following this, what is it? The rules and regulation, Vaidhi sadhana. Okay, we follow the Vaidhi or the rules. Then after we perfected our rules, Vaidhi sadhana, we can come up to the level of bhava. Bhava means rupanuga or spontaneous ecstasy, right? You do not need to have any more motivation to be inspired to serve Krishna. So when you talk about Krishna, when you chant Hare Krishna, you will have some kind of bhava or kind of ecstatic feeling. Okay, now after we completed up to the first level, so now at the second ocean, Southern Ocean, we are going detail. We are going into more detail. How is the transformation happen from bhava to prema? So that's why first 64 qualities of Krishna we are studying here. And after that, there'll be more and more elaboration in the next three divisions. Southern Ocean. Then from Southern, we will go to west, then we go to the north. North is the final part, right? So now let's look at the 40th quality of Sri Krishna. Prema Vashya. Okay. Priyatva Matravashyoya. Prema Vasyo Bhavit Asau. Quoted in Southern Ocean. Number 2 is Southern Ocean. First wave, text 151. That means he is controlled by love. Krishna becomes obliged. Okay, becomes obliged to the loving spirit of the devotee, not exactly to the service rendered. So please understand this statement very carefully. So now, first thing we just mark, please mark in your book. First is become obliged. Why become obliged? From the loving spirit of the devotee. Not exactly, the word that we should highlight, not exactly to the service rendered. Right? So now also is mentioned here, no one can serve Krishna completely. He is so complete and self-sufficient that he has no need of any service from the devotee. It is the devotee attitude of love and affection for Krishna that makes him obliged. All right, let's contemplate on this subject. Sometimes when we see in the temple, right? Okay, those who are serving in the temple, sometimes you see devotees sometimes tend to get frustrated. Why only me? Why I am the one only need to do? Oh, why? Oh, I did everything by myself, right? So the reason we are trying to serve Krishna, when we serve Krishna, we always say serve him with love and affection. Okay, how we can express our love, right? For instance, how a man can express his love to his wife. First, he say, I love you, I care for you, you are everything to me. That is just words. But the expression, how you express it out. Maybe he will buy some flowers, roses, jasmine, being very affectionate, expressing love, holding, hugging. Similarly, the way that we express our love to the child, we cannot say, oh, my child, I love you so much. So how you express it? By cuddling, hugging, feeding, bathing the child, like that. So similarly, the reason that we are engaging in devotional service, it is to express our love to Krishna. Because just merely saying, oh, Krishna, I love you. So what? How am I supposed to know that you love me? When we start to serve him, when we start to serve Krishna, all right, above our comfort, above our what they call our this thing, or sometimes like but whenever you get opportunity to serve Krishna, but after that you start to grumble, why it's only me, I'm the only one need to do, why this person didn't turn up, all that thing, it is not loving relationship. It is just like another person who are working in the temple, right? Say like sometimes like recent Radha Yatra in Ipoh, after we complete the Radha Yatra, we hired 2 Indonesian workers to clean up the place. That Indonesian worker just came, clean up everything and went. So does he get any sukriti? Yes, there is little sukriti, fair enough. But other than that, what else he got? Nothing. It is just a transaction. He come, he work, he get paid and just go off. Similarly, when we are grumbling, that's why only me to do, we are not getting the real taste. We are still in a very neophyte level. As a devotee, when you get a chance to serve Krishna, we should be very excited. And that excitement happens, why? Because when there is love. So again, we have to check and balance our life. We have to check and balance our life. In our life, we have to put it down. Okay, do I really have love for God? So when I have love for God, I serve him without any expectation. Just like how the wife serves the husband. She cooks nicely for the husband. Why? All right. She don't have any expectation also that my husband will buy for me a diamond necklace. No, she simply serves. Right. And when the husband eats, he reciprocate maybe with a smile of satisfaction, or maybe with some nice words. He said, I should have get for you a diamond ring for you have such a beautiful hoop, something like that, a little praise. And that little praises give the person so much of happiness and excitement. So this is number 40. We should really, really, really carefully think that Krishna is controlled by love. Right? Whenever we get a chance, whenever that says, okay, like this, I give you an example. Okay. Say, I know a doctor couple. She has a very successful clinic in Ipoh. After a long day of work, she got a Midas touch. Whenever she touched the patient heals. So she became very popular. And always the clinic is full. And she can see by 5, 6 o'clock, she's extremely tired. And yet she go back home. She go back home, she takes a shower and immediately prepare dinner, clean the house, sit with the children and study. And after feeding all the children and the husband and this thing, and eventually she goes back to work at, goes back to sleep around 12, 1 o'clock. And again, next day she wake up. She can do like that. You know, why? That is love. Because when it comes to love, there's no rules and regulation. Right? So we should remember, oh, I'm serving Krishna like this. No. Just always think, how much love do I have for God? How much love do I have for Krishna? According to your love, and that is how we reciprocate. Okay? So now we understand, Krishna becomes obliged. If you're just a mere servant who come and serve and go, well, you serve and you go, okay, fine enough, that's it. But to get the obligation from Krishna is very important. So we understand from this verse that Krishna is controlled by love, not by mere service. Okay. Now it's quoted in what they call in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, text 80. Chapter 80, text 19. Yatasi dasame dashame sakyu priyasya viprashir anga sangati nirvrita prito vyamuncha atvindun netrabhyam pushkarekshanaha. Okay, re-quoted in Nectar of Devotion in Southern Ocean, first wave, text 152. A very nice example on this obligatory behavior was manifest when Sudama Vipra. Okay, we discussed that Sudama Vipra. Sudama Vipra is actually Krishna's childhood friend, who was his classmate. He was so poor, the wife told him to go and ask help from Krishna. So when Krishna, and he had so much of love for Krishna. When he came, and how Krishna reciprocate, all right, Krishna received him very well, and both he and his wife washed the feet of Sudama Vipra. Even though Sudama Vipra is a devotee, a pure devotee, and who loved Krishna so much, and how Sudama Vipra, and when he came, both Krishna and Rukmani both give Sudama Vipra a very comfortable place and washed his feet. So showing respect to the Brahmana, remembering his loving affairs with Sudama in their childhood. All right, when we start to study Srimad Bhagavatam, we will study this topic. All right, and how they love each other. So you want to control Krishna is by loving, reciprocation, not with rules and condition. Again in 10:9:18 Srimad Bhagavatam, Yatava tatraiva swamatu swinna gatraya vishrasta kavarasraja drisva parishramam Krishna skripyasit swabandhane. So another instance of Krishna obligation to his devotee described in 10 Canto 9 chapter verse 18 Srimad Bhagavatam, and Sukadev Goswami tells King Parikshit. He said, my dear king, when Mother Yashoda was perspiring, tired trying to bind Krishna up with a rope, and Krishna agreed to allow her to bind. So when Mother Yashoda, when Krishna was so mischievous, you know, when Mother Yashoda wanted to take her and tie him to the mortar, at first she couldn't do it. Every time she bring the rope, two finger short. So like that she tried and tried and tried until at one moment Krishna gave up. Okay, so Krishna agreed to be bound by this mother. In other words, no one can bind Krishna by any means other than love. Again, remember this statement, love. Other than love, you can never bind Krishna. All right, he is bound only by obligation to his devotee. Why? Because of their ecstatic love for him. Okay, so that is the thing. So that is our love is very important. We will discuss this in further in the in the coming verses. 41. Sarva Shubhankaraha. Sarvesham Hita Kariyat. Sasyat Sarva Subhankaraha. So 41, Krishna is all auspicious. Okay, Subhakara. Subhankara. All right. Sarva. Sarva means all auspicious. Okay. Now, a person who is always engaged in auspicious welfare activities for everyone is known as all auspicious. That means the person who engage in auspicious welfare for everyone is known as this thing. So it's quoted, Yata Krita Kritartha Munayo Vinodahi Kala Shayena Kila Dharmikascha Vapur Vimardena Kalascha Yudde Na Kasya Patang Harina Vyadai. After the disappearance of Lord Krishna from this planet, after Krishna disappeared, all right, from this planet, Uddhava began to remember activities of the Lord. Uddhava is Krishna's good friend. He looks almost like Krishna. Okay, so we study about him in the 11th canto Srimad Bhagavatam. Very interesting. So he says, Krishna satisfied all great sages by his wonderful pastime. He demolished all demoniac activities of the cruel royal order, and he protected all pious men and killed all cruel fighters in the battlefield. Therefore, he is all auspicious for all men. All right. So he removed all the weeds, all the unwanted things. So he engaged in the welfare. That's why Krishna is known as Sarva, what they call? Sarva Saubhakya, Subhakara. So that means he's all auspicious. 42. Pratapi. Pratapi Pauru Shodbhuta. Shatrutapi Prasiddhi Bhak. Right? 42, that means he's most powerful. Okay? Krishna is most powerful. Yata. So, quoting, Bhavata Pratapa Tapane Bhuvanam Krishna Pratapayati Gora Sura Mukanang Sharanam Abut Kandaratimiram. Okay, it's quoted in Nectar of Devotion 2.1.157. He says here, when Krishna was present on this planet, just as the powerful sun drives the darkness and they take shelter in the cave, right? In other words, it's an analogy. So when the sun starts rise, the darkness disappears. And he says, where the darkness go and hide, it go and hide in the cave. Of course, cave is a covered area, right? But nowadays, in every home, it looks like a cave. They put all the thick thick curtain, cover the entire, what they call the windows. They don't even open the window. They keep everything so dark. You know, they say, scared the mosquito coming. They keep everything. That is very inauspicious. You must always open up all the windows in your house in the morning. So let the fresh air and fresh sunlight to come in, right? If not, the darkness will take refuge in your house, in other words. So what happened? So when Krishna present on the planet, he drove away all his enemies who fled like owls to take shelter beyond his sight. Okay, he get rid of all the unwanted enemies. Okay, 43. Kirtiman. Kirtiman means Sadgunyer Nirmalai Khyata Kirtiman iti kiryate. That means he's all famous. Krishna is all famous. That means a person who becomes well-known due to his spotless character is called famous. So what is that famous means? The person who has spotless character. He has no fault in his character. But now in Kali Yuga, if you want to be famous, you have to become a rogue or be a politician. Okay? You have to become like this in order to become famous. Right? Sometimes they say, there's a statement, I can't recall. If you have a scandal in your life, you'll be very successful in your life. People remember you. Then later, people will forget and you'll become lazy. So that is the way in Kali Yuga. But according to the Srimad, here it's mentioned here, if the person is famous, is the person who has spotless character. Okay, so Krishna is famous. That means he's a yata, quoting, Tvat yasha kumuda bandhu kaumudi shubra bhavam abito nayantyapi nanda nandana katamnu nirmame Krishna Bhava Kalilam Jagat Trayam. It is stated in the diffusion of Krishna's fame, it is just like a moonshine. Diffusion means what? The fame that comes out, diffuse. Okay? It's like the moonshine, which turns darkness into light. In other words, if Krishna consciousness is preached all over the world, Prabhupada says, if Krishna consciousness is preached all over the world, the darkness of ignorance and the anxiety of material existence will turn into whiteness of purity, peaceful and prosperity. That's why preaching Krishna consciousness is very important. And I'm grateful to all of you for joining us in this program. And to those who are watching in YouTube, you have given me the opportunity to express. But whatever I've said is not my own opinion. I'm just simply repeating from Guru, Sadhu, and Sastra. Right? Sadhu, Guru, and Sastra. So, each and every one of us must take up this preaching very seriously. Preaching means what? Preaching means to go and inform others their constitutional position. All of us are conditioned soul, and we forgotten our real position. And we are passing through this life, birth, death, old age, and disease. Everyone born and everyone died. But in between of this birth and death, there's two things which is so frustrating. That is getting old and getting disease. Right? You can never see any old elderly people who are happy in life. They are always frustrated. If you want to age gracefully, the only way is by becoming a Krishna conscious person. If you are a Krishna conscious person, no matter what, even how old you get, you don't have that level of anxiety. Okay? Even there is anxiety, there's still hope at the behind. What is that hope? As I get older and older and older. So what that devotee thinks, I'm going nearer and nearer to Krishna. In order to go back home, back to Godhead, you have to give up this body. You know, in order for you to move to the next house, you have to give up your current house. So for a devotee, we have our definite plan. But for a non-devotee, it is frustration. Let me quote you something which I've read recently. Let me see. From Bhajana Rahasya. Okay, let me see. There's something very interesting I read. Let me see whether I found. Text 6. So come in, okay. Compiler. Okay. Suddenly I can't find it. Anyway, I will try to get the code and I'll share the code. So it's like that. So you have to go and share this thought with others. You are not only helping that person, but you're helping the entire family, entire generation. When a person becomes a devotee, he has actually achieved success in his human birth. And you are the chosen one. So when we receive this kind of gift, we have to go and share it with others. Because that's what Prabhupada says. If Krishna consciousness preach all over the world, darkness of ignorance. What is that ignorance? I am this body. I am who I am. This is mine. This property is mine. Everything you can come, you can turn that, you can liberate them from the darkness of ignorance. And due from that darkness of ignorance, they go into anxiety of material existence. Who's going to rob me? Who's going to do this thing? When I'm going to die? When the thing going to strike me? Why? This and that. All right. A few days ago, I was in the hospital. I went to the clinic. While waiting to take blood, there's two persons behind me was talking. One lady was telling, I have stopped cooking in my house because cooking, every month I cook, it costs me roughly around 1,000 ringgit per month. Therefore, I start to cater. The caterers only charge me 400 a month. So I say 600. Then after that, she said, when my mother cooked, she wasted her food. Even the adisore, after you cook, the bottom part of the rice, she take it and put for the bird. And she get very frustrated, say, why are you wasting the food? And she's telling, I'm working so hard. I have bills to pay. I have to pay bill. I have to renew my pawn shop. I have to, the gold installment. I think they buy gold, pay in installment. Gold installment, pawn shop. Then there's another code is like buy number, KTM, Kuda, Toto, Magnum. I have to buy, I have to do this, I have to do that, I have to pay for my motorbike, I have to pay. So she was telling everything. Then after that, she said, with all these expenses, how to spend 1,000 ringgit for the food? So like that, I am not in, that's why I skated. Then another lady asked, so how about the food? Whatever they give, eat lah. What else to do? So I was wondering, what is the purpose of this lady working so hard? She works so hard. At least animal work hard for food and sex. Sense gratification. That is the ultimate goal for animal. Good food, get a food for the day and have intercourse. But this lady, I was contemplating, she's worse than animal. She's paying attention to a perishable thing in life. Once she bought a gold and she need money, she went and put in a pawn shop. And now she struggled to pay the interest. She get a motorbike, she buy. So for all the sense gratification, which doesn't make sense, which has depreciation value, which will be eventually be destroyed, paying so much attention and compromise on good food. And she was grumbling all the way about the wastage of food and this and that, telling the fish is expensive, this is expensive, all kind of nonsense. So then I started thinking, how much of ignorance the lady is in. She doesn't know the purpose of life. Like that, 99% of the world population are like that. So who should talk? Talk to the people within your circle. Tell them, why this, what they call Sanatan Dharma, the devotional service is very important. Why you should understand your constitutional position. So like that. So when that means there's anxiety. So the ignorance and anxiety of material existence now will turn into whiteness of purity. If now we are still in this material existence, in this perishable body. But still, we do not have that anxiety. Down with sickness, it may come, whatever it comes. Dread disease, cancer, heart attack, stroke, it doesn't matter. A devotee always be in enthusiasm. Because here we are talking, when you really study our Sanatan, our Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita, they're teaching you the art of dying gracefully, that you will never be born again in this material world. Like sometimes they say, why you Hare Krishna flow, got nothing else to talk. Only die, 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 die. That's the fact. That is the truth. In between, nothing is the truth. Because nothing is truthful. The house that I'm living in is, before this, belongs to somebody. In the future, it's going to belong to someone. The body that I live in for the last 47 years, right? After maybe another 10, 20, 30 years, it will be gone. It will be rot. It will be either burnt or thrown to the vulture or buried under the ground. Who knows? So nothing. It's all Not the fact. The fact of life, you were born in this world. And the second fact, that you're walking towards death. And that is our final exam. So we should always remember that you should go out and reach out to people and cultivate them, give them a Bhagavad Gita. All right, for everyone's information, I'm starting a Gita Gyan program on 13th December till 31st December. The last I did was last year, August, until last year, December. This entire year I didn't do. Okay, because of school holiday and because of the so much of demand. So I'm starting it back on a 13th December to 31st December. Invite all your friends, all of them to join, because Gita Gyan will do the transformation. It's a preaching effort. So you all please help me in this thing, so that we can go and reach out to this thing. All right. So it's very important. Okay. So this is what it says. So Krishna's fame is like a moonshine. So when you go and speak about Krishna's fame to everyone, it can diffuse their what they call their darkness into light. Okay. So now he's quoting from Yatava Lalite Madhava. Okay, he's quoting from Lalita Madhava, my favorite book. Vita Rudram Tyajati Girija Shama Aprakshya Kantam Shubhrang Dristva Kshipati Vashanam Vishmito Nila Vasaha Shiram Matva Shapayati Yami Niram Abirikotka Gite Damodara Yashashi Te Vinaya Naradena. So it says it's requoted in text 2 as Eastern Ocean and this thing, right? So let's see what it says here. When the great sage Narada was chanting the glories of the Lord, when the great sage Narada was chanting the glories of Krishna, the bluish line on the neck of Shiva disappeared. The bluish line. What is a bluish line? Lord Shiva drank the poison when they were churning the milk ocean. We will study that in Srimad Bhagavatam. He drank the poison and kept it on his neck. That's why his neck is blue. That's why he got a name of Nilakanta. Nilakandan. Okay, Lord Shiva got another name, Nilakanda, because of that. But when Narada Muni was chanting the glories of Krishna, even the poison on the neck of Shiva disappeared. Upon seeing this, Gauri, the wife of Lord Shiva, suspected Lord Shiva being someone else disguised as the husband. When Mother Gauri was beside, we start to see, hey, don't tell me there's somebody impersonate Lord Shiva. We can see the blue line. And out of fear, she immediately left his company. Upon hearing this chanting of Krishna's name, Lord Balaram saw that his dress had become white. Lord Balaram is always in a blue dress. Okay. Upon hearing the chanting of Krishna's name, even the blue dress start to fade and turn into white. Okay. And the cowherd girls saw all the water in Yamuna turn into milk. When they start to see the color, because Yamuna is black color. So they begin to churn it into a butter. In other words, by the spreading of Krishna consciousness, my dear Prabhus and mothers, the glories of Krishna, everything becomes white and pure. So that is the pure and purity that we want to create. Right? It is not the matter you fight for the forest, save the tree, save the mountain, save the river. Right? Save this, save that, become a Greenpeace. Save. No, by doing that, you won't be able to save anything. But when you start to propagate Krishna consciousness within your locality, by maybe encourage them to come and join the Gita Gyan program and all this kind of online program, all right? Get connected. What will happen to them? They will start to, their ignorance, the darkness of ignorance will start to turn into the pure awareness. All right? So that's the thing. So that's why spreading Krishna consciousness all over the world, it is very, very important task. 44. Rakta Loka. Patrang Loka Nuraganam. Rakta Lokam Vidur Buddha. Okay, number 4. Popular. Krishna is very popular. A person who is very dear to people in general is called popular to men. Right? The person who is very dear to people. Okay? When he's very dear, he's called as a popular man. Yatha pratame. Quoting from Srimad Bhagavatam 1.11.9. Yaryam bujaka pashashara bo bhavan. Kurun madun vata suhit didrikshayaha. Tatrabda koti pratima kshano bhave. Ravim vinakshnor eva nascha tavachuta. As for Krishna's popularity, there's a statement in Canto, 1st Canto, 11th chapter, verse 9, Srimad Bhagavatam, that deals with returning home from the capital Hastinapura. Right? Krishna is going back Hastinapura. Hastinapura is the place where the Pandavas were there. After the war is over, he's going back to his kingdom, Dwaraka. While he had been absent from Dwaraka at the battlefield of Kurukshetra, all the citizens of Dwaraka had become morose. They become like so dull, crazy. They don't have any purpose to live. You know, just like how when Lord Ramachandra went on exile, people don't even bother to maintain themselves. All the women, the hair is disheveled. The men don't even take their bath because they don't have purpose in life. All of them are so morose. All right? Like that, the Dwaraka, the same thing happened. When he left to the king for the war, the whole kingdom became morose. Right? Then when he returned, the citizen joyfully received him and said, "My dear Lord, while you are absent from the city, we passed our days in darkness of night. As in the darkness of night, every moment appears to be a long duration of time. So, while you were gone, every moment appeared to be like a million years." They missed him so much. Every moment looks like a million years. Your separation is completely unbearable to us. Okay, so this statement is the thing that shows that how popular Krishna was all over the country. Okay, this is one of the way popularity. Not like some silly singers or some actors like Rajini and all these kind of nonsense fellas. You know, they simply act, you know, they are just a pretender, kuttadi. Right? And people are crazy after him. You know, why? That is the wrong way of being popular. Because of their acting, or because they are what they call, they are fake things, right? So when you see in the set, they look different, but once they come out, they look totally different. All right. So that is not the popularity. That is the mundane. Because in Kali Yuga, it is a pathetic reflection. Whatever the popularity we're seeing, it's a total opposite, pathetic reflection. Okay, now. So now let's quoting Yatava. Ashishtata jaya jaya jayetya viraste muninam deva shrinistuti kala kalo medura pradurasti harshad gosha spurati parito nagarinam gariyan kevarangastala bhuvi harau bejire nana nuragam. Similar incident occurred when Krishna entered into the arena sacrifice arranged by King Kamsa for his death. Right? So, similar incident occurred when Krishna entered the arena of sacrifice arranged by who? King Kamsa for his death. As soon as he entered the place, all the sages began to cry, "Jai, Jai, Jai," means victory, victory, victory. Krishna was a boy at that time, around 14-year-old. And all the sages offered their respectful blessings to him. The demigods who were present also began to offer beautiful prayer to Krishna. And the ladies and the girls present expressed their joy from corners of the arena. In other words, there was no one in that particular place with whom Krishna was not very popular. Okay, we will study that in Bhagavatam also. Of course, in Nectar of Devotion, all these things is elaborated later. 45. Sadhu Sangsharaya Sat Eka Pakshapati Yasasyat Sadhu Samashrayaha. Okay, that means partially to devotees, partiality to devotees. Although Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and is therefore not partial to anyone. Krishna is supreme. He is equal to everyone, even to the sinful people. It is stated in Bhagavad Gita. But he has special attraction to his devotee who worship his name in love and affection. So what it says, he has a special attraction to the devotee who worship him. How? By his name in love. So chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra is very important. You can compromise anything in life, but not the Maha Mantra. When I was sick, for the last 10 days, I basically didn't chant. Because I was like, lemon tea, coughing. And suddenly the thing struck me. When a person goes through a financial turbulence, the first thing he stops paying is insurance. You all have experienced that before? We have here. We have Saki, Tachaini Kumar. Oh, Tachaini Mataji is here. Vaishnava Kripa, Pailing Mata, Charanalakshmi, all right. No? Do you all have experienced that? I think Saki Mataji can give us a good example on this because the husband is a very successful insurance
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Correct or not, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhu. கஷ்டப்படுறப்ப வந்து அந்த டைம்ல இன்சூரன்ஸ் நல்ல வேலை எடுத்தோம்டா அப்படி நினைப்போம்.
இல்ல அத சொல்ல. கஷ்டம் வந்தா முதல்ல இன்சூரன்ஸ் காசை கட்டறது நிப்பாட்டுவாங்க.
ஓ, அது சொல்றேன். Yes, Prabhu. அது முதல்ல ஸ்டாப் பண்ணணும்னு நினைப்போம்.
Yeah. So whenever a person goes through some financial turbulence, the first thing they do is stop paying the insurance policy premium. But they forgot the insurance is the only one going to help them when they are in trouble, especially health. But they stop that first. Similarly, I was thinking, when I am sick, I should be chanting the holy name. But I stopped. The first thing I stopped doing was chanting the holy name. That was my realization. Oh boy, how terrible is that? When a person is sick, very sick, what are the possibilities? It's a 50-50 possibilities. Recover and come out, or deteriorate and die. And yet, I was thinking, I feel like something is not right, something is missing. Then I'll just say, oh, I didn't chant today. Okay, I'm sick. No, I cannot chant. My mind is playing trick on me. So when my mind started playing trick on me, I said, okay, I don't chant. And that's when I remembered. Because formerly I was also insurance unit manager. So I remember, I used to say this. When a person is having a financial trouble, the first thing they do, stop paying premium. That is the biggest disaster decision a man can make. Similarly, when a man is sick, he should chant even more. Krishna allowing you to sit in one place to recuperate, and you should not stop chanting. All right? Because here we understand in 45, in 45th quality of Sri Krishna, he is partial to his devotees. He is impartial to everyone, but he favors his devotee. He has a special attraction to the devotees. And who he get attracted to? He get attracted to the person who worship his name in love and affection. He worship his name with love and affection. Okay, let me see whether I can find this verse or not. It is okay. Text 5, Bhajana Rahasya. Agachit smaranam Vishnur Bhavayasena sadyate. Oshta spandana matrena kirtanam tu tatovaram. It says here, sins are destroyed with great effort by remembering Sri Vishnu. sins are destroyed. How? With great effort. You have to put so much effort to remember Krishna. Oh, remember, put so much effort. Study about his life, study about his pastime, his mischievous, Damodara. You have to work so hard to remember Sri Vishnu. But here, mark this word. Please listen very carefully. But it says, Agachit Smaranam Vishnu. It takes so much of effort. Smaranam, remember Vishnu. Bhavya Sena Sadyate. With great effort. With Bhava, great effort. But Oshtaspandana Matrena Kirtanam tu Tato Varam. But it says, but by chanting his name, they are very easily destroyed. How? Are you all following me? Put a thumbs up if you're following me. If you don't understand, please ask. I'll repeat again. Very important. Because I just read, I'm telling you. In the future, I don't know whether I can quote these or not. Remember to quote. Are you all following me, my dear Prabhus and mothers? How come nobody's responding? All right. One person respond. Tachaini Mataji, Vaishnava Prabhu, Pailing Mataji.
Yeah.
All right. So it said, it takes hard work to remember Vishnu to destroy your sin. But after that, he says, but simply by chanting his name, all the sins are easily destroyed. You don't even need to remember Krishna or Vishnu. All right. Kirtana is performed simply by using the lips to vibrate the names of the Supreme Lord, and is far superior to smarana, remembrance. So chanting is far superior. Tapasya sya dhyana, yoga kashta sadhya hayar. Yoga kashta, kastara kastangal, tough. Ostera spandana matre, kirtana ashraya. Ostera spandana bhave, namera smarana, smarana kirtane sarva, siddhi sangattana, archana apeksha, namera smarana kirtana, ati srestha bali, shastre karilastapana. Austerities, meditation, yoga, and other practice are very difficult to perform in Kali Yuga. But Kirtana is easy. One need only vibrate one's lips. The holy name chanted without moving the lips is called Namasmarana. The living entity can attain all perfection by chanting and remembering the holy name. How? Chanting and remembering. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Chant and remember Hare Krishna. Hare, H-A-R-E, K-R-S-N-A, H-A-R-E. That's it. Just remembering the holy name. The scriptures have therefore concluded that chanting and remembering the holy name are superior to Archana. Archana means what? Deity worship. Okay. So this is another book, Bhajana Rahasya. So this is by Bhakti Vinod Thakur. So what I'm trying to say here. So if you want to attract Krishna to your life, it's only by worshipping him in name. Worship his name. Brihad Bhagavata Maharaj, once he told, I asked a question in his class. So Maharaj, deity worship is not important? He said, yes. Only Hari Nam Japa, Hari Nam Mantra, it is the only way. Even it's mentioned in Sukhmani Sahib in a Sikh religion. You know, in Sikhism, Punjabi Sikhism religion, there's a Granth Sahib, and the part of that is called Sukhmani Sahib. All right. There's a word Kuda, Kota, Har, something. At last, Guru Nanak will end the thing. Har Nam Japo, Hari Nama Japo. Whatever things that you do, end of the day, you have to chant the holy name of Hari. You know. That's why in the Golden Temple, there's a name, what they call Har Mandir Sahib. All right. What is that thing? Har Mandir Sahib. So we have to always remember this by heart. You want to attract Krishna? Worship his holy name. How? With love and affection. Right? So we'll discuss that in detail. Yata Purushottama Chet Avatarishyat. Bhuvanesminna Bhavam Bhuvasi Shivaya. Vikata Sura. Mandala Na Jane. Sujananam Bataka Dashaba Vishyat. When Krishna was in this planet, one devotee expressed his feeling in this way. He said, "My dear Lord, if you had not appeared on this planet, then the Asuras, demon, and the atheists would have surely created havoc against the activities of the devotee." I cannot imagine the magnitude of such devastation prevented by your presence. From the very beginning of his appearance, Krishna was the greatest enemy of all demonic persons. Although Krishna's enmity towards demon actually comparable to his friendship with the devotees. This is because of any demon who killed by Krishna receives immediate salvation. 46. Nari Gana Manohari. Nari Gana Manohari. Sundari Vrinda Mohana. Okay, that means what? Sundara Vrinda Mohana. Very attractive to Sundari. Sundari means girl. In Tamil also we call Sundari, right? Sundari means girls. All right. So Nari Gana Mano. Money attract the heart of the girls of Vrinda. Okay. So anyway, let's look at this. Very attractive to all women. Any person who has special qualification to become immediately very attractive to women. All right. Who has that qualification? In this world, no one has that qualification. He simply attracts everyone. All right. So Yata Sri Dashame, all right, it's quoted from 10th Canto, chapter 90, text 26. Shruta matro piya strinam prasayakarshate mana urugayo nurugita va pashyantinam chakim punaha. A devotee made the following statement about the queens of Dwaraka. How shall I describe the glories of the queens of Dwaraka, who were personally engaged in the service of the Lord? The Lord is so great that simply by chanting his name, all the great sages like Narada can enjoy transcendental bliss. So that what can be said about those queens who were at very moment seeing the Lord and serving him personally, right? So the statement in CS is, just by the queens of Dwaraka, 16,108 of them, they are some or other, how glorious they are. They engage in the service. But because at the same time, the great sage like Narada, simply by chanting the holy name, he can get the same attraction. How about the queens who are serving him personally? Right? That's the thing. So quoting here, Yatava, Tvam Chumbakosi Madava, Loha Mayi Nunam Angana Jatihi, Davati Tatas Tatoshav, Tatausav Yato, Yata Kridaya Brahmasi. Krishna had 16,108 wives in Dwaraka. Then what he did? Each and every one of them was attracted to Krishna, just like the iron attracted by the magnet. There's a statement by the devotee. My dear Lord, you are just like a magnet, and all the damsels of Raja are just like the iron. Whichever direction that you are moving, they are following you. And iron is attracted by magnetic force. Okay, so now let's look at the 47th quality. Sarvadaryaya, Sarvaradhyaha, Sarvesham Agra Pujyaya, Sarvaradhya Uchyate. All worshipable. Krishna is all worshipable. A person who is respected and worshipped by all kinds of human beings and demigods is called Sarvaradhya, or all worshipable. That means respected and worshipped by all kinds of human and demigods. Right, so let's quote from 1941, Bhagavatam. Muni Gana Nirpa Varya Sankulenta Sadasi Yudhistira Rajasuya Esham Arhanam Upapedya Ikshaniyo Mamadrishi Gochara Esa Avir Atma. Krishna is worshipped not only by living entities, including the great demigods like Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma, but also by Vishnu expansion form of Godhead, such as Baladev and Shesha. All right, please understand this statement here. So Krishna is not only worshipped by all living entities, including the great demigods like Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma. Okay, but he is also worshipped by his own expansion, like Baladev, Ananda Shesha. Okay, Ananda Shesha is a Krishna's expansion. Baladev is direct expansion of Krishna, but he still accepts Krishna as worshipable. When Krishna appeared in the arena of Rajasuya sacrifice, including great sages and demigods, Krishna became a cynosure, the center of attraction, and everyone offered him respect. Okay. 48. Samriddhiman. Samriddhiman. Mahasampati yukto yo. Bhavit esa samriddhiman. He is all opulent. Krishna is full of all opulence. How? Namely, strength, wealth, fame, beauty, knowledge, and renunciation. The 5 qualities. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6 qualities. Strength, wealth, fame, beauty, knowledge, and renunciation. Okay. So this is what the word Bhagavan means. All right. The word Bhagavan means, okay, the word Bhagavan, sorry. Okay. Okay, what does it Bhagavan means? Right? We are calling everybody Bhagavan. Even we call Bhagavan Satya Sai Baba. All these are bogus. Right? The word Bhagavan, what does that Bhagavan means? Please underline the statement. First of all, he must have strength. He must have tremendous strength. He must have wealth. He must have fame. The most important, he must have beauty. He must be very beautiful. He must have a pure knowledge, at the same time renunciation. So this is the 6 qualities of Bhagavan, right? Which will be described in Bhagavad Gita. Okay. So yata sat pancha sat yadu kula bhavang kotasya tvang bhajante varshantyastu kim api nidyas charta jatam tavami suddhantascha spurati navabir lakshita sauda lakshmahir lakshmim pashyan mura damana te natra chitrayate kaha. So it says, when Krishna was present in Dwaraka, his family, which is known as Yadu dynasty, consists of 560 million members. Oh, yo. All right. His relatives are 560 million. Of course, 16,108 wives, the expansions, all right? And all these family members are very obedient and faithful to Krishna, right? And in Dwaraka, there are more than 900,000 big palatial buildings. Okay, they got 900,000 big palace there to house all the people. And everyone in them respected Krishna, the most worshipable. Devotees astonished to see the opulence of Krishna. This is one of the opulence. Okay, unlimited opulence. If anyone come and say they are God, check on these 6 things. They can be this thing, okay, but they will definitely lose here. They will definitely lose at this thing called the beauty. Right? The one that most attractive. Right? So don't get trapped. When you see someone trapped, let's go and make them realize. But don't need to go and become a fanatic. Oh, you're worshipping nonsense. You're worshipping human being. Bogus guru. All that we don't need to say. We just tell them, come and look at the beauty of Krishna. Right? So let's chant the Hare Krishna. Some or other, let the chant, the heart change. All right? It's important. Okay, now, so first we spoke about his opulence. All right? Now let's look at the next one. Yatava Krishna Karna Mritte. Okay, there's a verses quoting from Krishna Karnamrita. Chintamanis Charana Bhushanam Angananam Sringara Pushpataravastarava Suranam Vrindavane Vrajadanam Nanu Kamadenu Vrindani Cheti Sukha Sindur Aho Vibhutihi. This is verified by Bilva Mangal Thakur when in Krishna Karnamrita. Okay, Bilva Mangal Thakur is another long story. I think we have discussed this before. address Krishna this, my dear Lord, what can I say about the opulence of your Vrindavan? Simply the ornaments on the lakes, simply says, the ornaments on the lakes of the damsels of Vrindavan, the ornaments on the lakes, that means kolusi, right? The anklet, are more than Chintamani, touchstone. And their dresses are as good as heavenly Parijata flower. Parijata. In Tamil, okay, Parijata means what? Pavalamalli. You know, in every house we keep Pavalamalli, right? But of course, heavenly Parijata is different. So as good as Parijata flower. Parijatam. The cows exactly resemble Surabhi cows in the transcendental abode. Therefore, your opulence is just like an ocean that no one can measure. Right? So now we're talking about opulence. Before that, he spoke about his opulence, right? Opulence of Krishna. And again that another opulence is repeated. Okay? Right. Now let's look at the verse 49. Now it's 10:18. Shall we just take a short break? Just 2 minutes. Okay? Is it okay with everyone?
Okay, Prabhu.
I will just take a short break. Huh? Hare Krishna. Let's resume. All right. So let's look at the 49. The quality number 49. Varyan. Sarvesha ati mukhyo. Yasa varyan itiryate. So that means all honorable. A person who is a chief among all important persons is called all honorable. All right. Yata Brahmanatra Purudvisha Sahapura Pite Nishida Shanam Tushnim Tishta Surendra Chatubir Alam Varisha Duri Bhava Ete Dwari Muhu Katam Suragana Kurvanti Kola Halam Hanta Dvaravati Patir Avasaro Nadyapi Nishpadyate. So now, when Krishna was living in Dwaraka, demigods like Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma, Indra, and the king of heaven, many of others used to come to visit him. The doorkeeper who had managed the entrance of all these demigods, one very busy day said, that means the doorkeeper, he was very busy, and one day he said, what he said? My dear Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva, please sit down on this bench and wait. My dear Indra, please desist from reading your prayer. This is creating disturbance. Please wait silently. My dear Varuna, please go away. And my dear demigods, do not waste your time uselessly. Krishna is very busy. He cannot see you. Can you imagine? Right? So sometimes you want to get a favor of Krishna, the doorkeeper, you know, they said. So this is one of the pastimes, right? So all they come, they'll come, they'll be one day very busy, and Krishna was very busy, and he said, everybody stay outside, all right? So this is called chief among important person. It's very important, okay? Now, 50, Ishvara. Dvideshvara Svatantrascha Durlangyaknascha Kiryate. That means he's the supreme controller. There are two kinds of controller. The control lords. One who is independent is called controller, and one who is under whose orders cannot be neglected by anyone is also called controller. So that means the one who are independent, they are controller, and the one whose order cannot be neglected. When the order says, you must follow. They are also known as controller. Okay. Just like the king is the controller, and the commander-in-chief or the army captain is also the controller. You understand what I mean? That means the king is independent. But in the warfare, the captain is independent. The captain says, this is my order. Go, attack. So you cannot neglect the order. And so this is so control. There's two kinds of controller. So tatrasvan tatro yatta Krishna prasadam akarot aparadyatepi padankam ka eva kila kaliya pannagaya Na brahmane drishyam apistu vatepi apurvam. Sthane swatantra charito nigamair nuto yam. Regarding Krishna's complete independence and lordship, Srimad Bhagavatam says that although Kaliya was a great offender, Krishna still favored him by marking his head with his lotus feet. Whereas Lord Brahma, although having prayed to Krishna with so many wonderful prayers, still could not attract him. This contradictory treatment by Krishna is just befitting his position. Because in all Vedic literature, he is described as the complete independence. He can do what he likes. In the beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam, the Lord is described as Swarat, which means completely independent. That is the position of Supreme Absolute Truth. The Absolute Truth is not only sentient, but is also completely independent. And quoting from 3.2.21, Srimad Bhagavatam, Durlangya jano yata tritye, swayam tvasang yati swayam tvasa myati sayastraya disha, swarajya lakshmyapta samasta kamaha, balim haradbis chira loka palahi, kirita kotyedita pada pitaha. As far as Krishna's order not being neglected by anyone, Srimad Bhagavatam, 2nd chapter 21, Uddhava tells Vidura. Okay, he tells Vidura. Vidura is Pandava's uncle, Chitapa. All right. So he says Idva. See, Lord Krishna is the master of the three modes of material nature. Lord Krishna is the master of three modes of material nature. He is the enjoyer of all opulence. And therefore, there's no one equal or greater than him. All the great kings and emperors used to come before him, offer their gift, and pay obeisances with their helmet at the feet of the Lord. Yatava navye brahmanda vrinde srijati vidigana srishtaye ya kirtanyo rudragav kala jirne shayam avatanute ya shaya ya nushishta raksham vishnu swarupa vidadati tarune rakshino ye tvar angsaha kang share santi sarva dishi bhavantas shashane jandanataha. One devotee said, my dear Krishna, when you order Brahma, now you may create universe. And when you order Lord Shiva, now you dissolve this material manifestation. First he said, Krishna, Brahma, you create. And after that, you order Lord Shiva to dissolve. Dissolve means to destroy. You are in this way creating and dissolving the material creation yourself. Simply by your orders, and your partial representation of Vishnu, you are maintaining the universe. In this way, O Krishna, enemy of Kamsa, there are so many Brahmas and Shivas who are simply carrying out your orders. Right? So, 51. Ata sadasvarupa samprapta maya karya vakshirita is changeless. Krishna does not change his constitutional position, not even when he appears in this material world. Ordinary living entities have their constitutional spiritual position covered. We have our original position covered. They appear in different bodies. They will appear in different bodies, right? And under the different bodily concept of life, they act. This body, I'm a human. Next body, I become a dog and I act according to my dog nature. So according to the different bodily concept, they will act. But Krishna does not change his body. He appears on his own body and is therefore is not affected by the modes of material nature. So what is the quote from Srimad Bhagavatam? Canto 1, chapter 11, text 38. Yata pratame etat ishanam ishasya prakritostopi tat gunai na yujyate sadatmastayat yata buddhis tat ashrayaha. First canto 11 chapter verse 38 Srimad Bhagavatam is stated that special prerogative of the supreme controller is that he is not at all affected by the modes of material nature. The practical example of this is that devotees who are under the protection of the Lord are also not affected by the mode of material nature. Who? The one who are under the protection. So when we take the shelter, the protection of Krishna, we somehow or other protected from the three modes of material nature. Therefore, to overcome the influence of the material nature is very difficult. But the devotees or the saintly person who are under the protection of the Lord are not affected. Who are these people? Not an ordinary devotee, but a saintly devotee or a pure devotee. Right? So we should aspire to become that. Okay. So what need there to speak about Lord himself? To be more clear, although Lord sometimes appear in this material world, he has nothing to do with the modes of material nature. He acts with his full independence in his transcendental position. This is a special quality of the Lord. 52nd quality. Sarvanya parachitta stitam desha kaladyan antaritam tata. Yo janati samastartha sa sarvanyo nigatyate. Is all cognizant. Any person who can understand the feeling of all person and incidents in all places at all time is called all cognizant. Okay, quoting from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 5, Text 11. Yono jugapo vana etya duranta kricharat durvasasori rachitat ayuttagra bhubyaha shakana shishtam upayujna yatatri lokim triptam amangsta salile mini magna sangaha. Nice example of all cognizant quality of Lord described in Srimad Bhagavatam, 1st Canto, 15th chapter, verse 11. In connection of Durvasa Muni, visit of the house of Pandava in the forest. Following the calculated plan, Duryodhana sent Durvasa Muni and his 10,000 disciples as a guest to Pandava in the forest. Okay, Durvasa is a very fussy pot. All right, he's a very fussy devotee and he wants everything to be perfect. And they went and visit Pandava in the forest. Forest, they don't have much facility. And Durvasa Muni didn't go by himself. He went with his 10,000 disciples. And he must make sure that you must satisfy Durvasa. So this is one of the master plan of Duryodhana. Duryodhana arranged for Durvasa and his men to reach the place of Pandava just when Pandava's lunchtime ended. So they made sure in such a way, whenever a guest comes to the house, we have to feed them sumptuously. Sometimes when we cook, maybe for a family, when the guests come, you don't try to limit them. Sometimes it is very annoying. Okay, when you go in as a guest, right? Whenever you put a dish, okay, example, you put one dish of rice, some dal, some sabji, and all these things. When you put that in front of your guest, what the guest will think? Only this much they have. So the guests will not eat to the fullest. Right? The guests do not eat to the fullest. So they just give some sabji. Oh, enough. Actually, it's not enough. But you want to be courteous. Right? You want to be courteous. You say, no, enough. Because you don't want your host to go into hunger. That's a very wrong thing to do. Do not display the food in front of the guest. Don't display it. Either they're eating on the plate or on a banana leaf. Don't display everything in front of them. Don't put them in anxiety. All right? I came with my family and I only so little food. But you might have cooked something and kept behind. You're thinking you don't want to bring the whole pot and put it in front of the guests. So you're trying to bring a little by little. That's a very wrong thing to do. All right? It's quite common. Right? And it's very frustrating, especially in my mother-in-law's house. Anyway, so after that, they asked, why have you eaten so little? No, I said, oh, no, I've cooked so much. But you've eaten so little. How am I supposed to know whether you cook so much or cook so little? Don't display the food in front of your guests. Just come and serve the guests and take it away. Don't show them you have little. Don't show them you have abundance. Don't put them in anxiety. Right? I have seen a person who fed a person with so much of love and affection. After that, she turned back and said, I think his wife doesn't cook. He came and ate everything. That's extremely sinful. Right? So, if you are prepared to receive guests, right, you must be prepared to serve the guests. It's very important. That's our Vedic system. Don't display the food in front of them and put them in anxiety. Just put for them everything. Right? When you see one dish is finishing, immediately bring it and say, I want to top up another one. Until the guest says enough. That is how you satisfy your guest to the fullest. All right? This kind of buffet system is such a bogus system. What to do in Kali Yuga? That's what we're supposed to do. All the food is served, go and take what you like to take. That's nonsense. Our Vedic system is not that. Keep your guests comfortably seated and give some nice words. Start it off with some sweet and feed them and serve them. You should be serving. Not you sit along with them and start to, from your left hand you put, oh, enough. Just take your left hand and, no, enough. They are not your family members. Guest. Guest is equal to Krishna. We will study that in Srimad Bhagavatam. How the guest has to be treated. Even the guest is your enemy. When he comes and knocks your door, you have to treat him with full honor. When the guests come to the house, you should not show your long face. Yevana. Sorry, they come. Come. Yeah. Get for you water? Water? Very bad. All right? You do not ask, do you want to have water, drink, or something like that? Just immediately come and serve them. When they come, immediately offer them water first. Then after that, you ask, can I make for you some milk? Can I get for you some milk? Or can I? Let them say. But when they first come and first invite them with big smile, give them a comfortable seat. Inquire about their well-being. And while you're doing that, ask someone to immediately bring the water. You do not need to ask the guest, can I get you water? They should bring in water, please serve them. Oh, I just drank. No, I just have something. At least they must drink a bit. In Tamil, there's a at least they must take something. Without you offer something, they go, it's very sinful. All right? Because guest is equivalent to Krishna. And you must treat the guest very respectfully. Even the guest is your enemy. In Bhagavatam, we will also study. When the guests come to the house, you treat them in such a way, even if he's your enemy, he should be coming and wondering, did I actually go to my enemy's house? He should go, did I accidentally come? Who are these people? I hate these people. But they're so nice to me. You like that, right? So offer them in your capacity. You do not need to fake it. All right? So this is very important. So now, Durvasa Muni is a very fussy person. He must ensure everything is done accordingly. And Duryodhana arranged in such a way that Durvasa and his 10,000 disciples go there by the time lunchtime is ended. So when they finish their food, go. So that the Pandavas would be caught without sufficient means to feed such large number of guests. Knowing Duryodhana's plan, Krishna came to the Pandavas and asked their wife Draupadi. All right? So that time when all the 10,000 people all came and sat in front of thing, when Pandavas saw, they were shocked. I don't have any means to cook for them. We just washed everything and put it. Now they're here. How am I supposed to cook for such a large crowd? 10,000 people, can you imagine? I don't have the means. They went into anxiety. So Krishna immediately came to Draupadi and asked, is there any remnants of food that she could offer to him? Is there anything that you have? Right? So Draupadi offered him the container in which there was only a little fragment of some vegetable preparation. Right? So she checked. She just said, right? I only have a small vessel, and that also just little leaves are stuck there, some vegetable. And you know what? Krishna just took it and ate it, put in his mouth. So when Krishna advanced at it, when he ate it, you know what happened? Ate it. At that moment, all the sages accompanied Durvasa were taking bath in the river. That time they said, okay, we come, prepare the lunch, we're going to take bath and come. So when all of them taking, suddenly when Krishna felt satisfaction, eating Draupadi's offering, they also felt satisfaction. And you know what happened? Their hunger was gone. Because Durvasa and his men were unable to eat anything more. They feel so full. And they went away without coming into the house. So without coming to the house, they just went away. They just walked off. That is why. All right. So, okay, anyway, I don't want to go into that detail. It's going to take a long discussion. We will study that as we go on. In this way, the Pandavas were saved from the wrath of Durvasa. Duryodhana had sent them because he knew that since Pandava were not able to resist such large number, Durvasa will become very angry and Pandavas will be cursed. But Krishna saved them from calamity with his trick and by his all cognizant quality. So today, what we have understood here, treating the guest is one of our Vaishnava etiquette in act of instruction. Receiving guest and receiving gift and giving gift, calling them for prasadam and going to their house for prasadam, it is very auspicious thing. Sometimes once in a while, just invite someone to come over to your house for prasadam. Invite a devotee. Prabhu, are you free on this Sunday, Saturday? I'd like to invite you to the family, come to my house. Come have feast in my house. Right? So like that. So anyway, certain things that also happened. That's the one Prabhu invited me. Went to the house to eat. The wife started to show long face. Even though I try to forget that, but still when I'm talking, the things strike me again. So when you want to invite, make sure you speak to your spouse. All right? Speak to your family member. I'm going to invite these people. Don't make this aparat. Don't make this offense. When they come, start to show long face. If you and your wife or husband or family should have a quarrel, all that thing should be put aside when the guest come into your house. Right? It's very important. Serving guest is very important. Even there's a hell, it's also mentioned that if a person who neglect in serving the guest is also sentenced to hellish suffering. All right? Very important. Remember that. 53. Nitya Nutana. Sadhyanubhyu Yamanopi Karotyanu Bhutavat. Vishmayam Madhuri Birya Sa Prokto Nitya Nutanaha. Okay? Ever fresh. Krishna is always fresh. Krishna is always remembered and his name is always chanted by millions of devotees. But the devotee never becomes satiated. So they just go on chanting and chanting. They don't feel bored. They feel like it's like renewing. It's more and more. Instead of becoming disinterested in thinking of Krishna and chanting his holy name, the devotee get newer and newer impetus to continue the process. Therefore, Krishna is ever fresh. Not only Krishna himself, but also Krishna's knowledge. Yes, it's ever fresh. Bhagavad Gita, which was imparted thousands of years ago, 5,000 years ago, still being read, repeated by many, many men, and still new lights is always being found in it. Therefore, Krishna and his name, fame, qualities, and everything in relationship is ever fresh. I think you all should have experienced that, right? When you study Bhagavad Gita, hey, how come I didn't know this? Then you read it, study, hey, how come I didn't know this? It's just like ever fresh. Yata Pratame, 1.11.33. Yadapyasau Parshva Gato Raho Gatas. Tatapi Tasyangri Yugam Navam Navam Pade Padeka Virameta Tat Pada Chalapi Yachrir Na Jahati Karhichit. All the queens of Dwaraka were goddess of fortune. In Srimad Bhagavatam, it is said in Srimad Bhagavatam, 1st Canto 11 chapter verse 33, that the goddess of fortune are very fickle and restless. That goddess of fortune are very fickle-minded and restless. So no one can consistently captivate them. Thus, one's luck is always changed sometimes. That's why our luck is always changing. Right? So because the goddess of suddenly she feel like giving you opulence and like Lakshmi want to give you some money. After, no, take back. You know? Yet the goddess of fortune could not leave Krishna, even for a moment when they are residing with him in Dwaraka. This means that Krishna attraction is ever fresh. Even the goddess of fortune cannot leave his company. Right? So, quoting from, okay, Yatava Lalita Madhava. Okay, quoting from Lalita Madhava, chapter 1, text 52. Kulavara Tanu Dharma Grava Vrindani Bindan Sumuki Nishita Dirga Panga Tanka Chatapi Yugapat Ayam Apurvaka Pura Vishwo Karma Maragata Mani. Maragada means it's Maragadam. Emerald. Right? Maragada Mani Lakshir Goshta Kaksham Chinoti. Right? It says, it quoted in Southern Ocean, first wave, text 186. Regarding Krishna's attractive feature being ever fresh. There is a statement by Radharani in the Lalita Madhava. Statement by who? By Srimati Radharani in Lalita Madhava, in which Krishna is compared to the greatest sculpture. You know, the one to make dolls, statues. Because he's expert in chiseling. You know, chiseling? Uli. You know, chiseling. Or the chiseling at the chastity of a woman. In other words, although chaste woman may follow the rules and regulation of Vedic principle, right? The chaste woman may follow the rules. And to become very faithful to their husbands. Right? I'm married, I must be very faithful to my husband. But Krishna is able to break their stone-like chastity. Krishna is able to break their stone-like chastity. How? Using his chisel of his beauty. His beauty is like woolly. The beauty of Krishna is so beautiful. He's like a chisel. He can break the stone chastity of gopis on their husband. Most of the girlfriends of Krishna were married. But because Krishna was their friend before their marriage, they could not forget his attractive features. Even after they get married, they still cannot forget of Krishna. How handsome, how beautiful. Which were always fascinating to them, even after their marriage. Wonderful. 54. Sachit Ananda Sandranga. Sachit Ananda Sandranga Chidananda Gana Krita. Sachit Ananda Vigraha. Okay. It's called BS 5.1. Bhakti. I know what they call. What is BS? Brahma Sanghita. Chapter 5, text 1. All right. Sachit Ananda Vigraha. That means what? What is the verse? Can anyone tell me the verse? What is the first verse of Brahma Samhita? Can anyone? Anyone remember? Chana Lakshmi Mata, you remember? Vaishnava Kripa Prabhu? Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachit Ananda Vigraha Anadir Adir Govinda Sarva Karana Karana. So it's not Sachit. So Krishna's transcendental body is eternal, full of beauty and bliss. Sat means ever existing, for all time in all places. In other words, all pervading in the time and space. Chit means full of knowledge. Chit means full of knowledge. Krishna has nothing to learn from anyone. He is independently full of all knowledge. Ananda means his reservoir of all pleasure. Anandam. Right? Okay, let's look at this thing. Quoting. Klesha kramat pancha vide shayam gate yad brahma saukyam swayam aspurat param tat vyartayam ka purato nara kritihi shamoyam amoda bara prakashate. The impersonalists, the impersonal means the Mayavadi, are seeking to merge into Brahman for eternity and knowledge. But the major portion of the absolute pleasure, which is in Krishna, is avoided by them. They're so crazy. The major portion of pleasure, they avoid. They just simply want to merge into the light. One can enjoy transcendental blissfulness by merging, yes, into Brahman, but after being freed from the contamination of material illusion. How? They can enjoy the bliss merging into Brahman. If you want to merge into the light, what are the things? After being freed from contamination. Number two, material contamination of what? Material illusion, false identification, attachment, and detachment, and material absorption. These are the preliminary qualification of a person who can realize Brahman. It is stated in Bhagavad Gita that one has to become full of joyfulness. He must become full of joyfulness. That is not exactly, this is not exactly joyfulness. That means you must become full of joyfulness. But this is actually not joy. You can follow all the rules and simply merge into the light. It's not happening. It's not happy. All right. So, but a sense of freedom from all anxieties. Okay. Freedom from all anxieties may be first principle of joyfulness. Okay. To be free from anxiety. But it is not the actual joyfulness. I want to come out from the anxiety. Are you happy? No. I'm very poor. I want to work so much. I want to have so much of money, so I'll be out of financial anxiety. So once I have tons of money, am I free from anxiety? No. You will be more anxiety. Set up more CCTV and more these things. Right? Those who realize the self, or become Brahma Bhuta, Srimad Bhagavatam 4.30.20, are only preparing themselves for the platform of joyfulness. All right? That joyfulness can be actually achieved only when one comes into the contact with Krishna. So, what Prabhupada is explaining here, very interesting. He says Krishna consciousness is so complete that it includes all transcendental pleasure derived from impersonal Brahman realization. All the things that you achieve in Brahman can be achieved in this Krishna consciousness. Even the impersonalists will become attracted to the personal form of Krishna, known as Shama Sundara. Okay, we do the last one. All right. Okay, so I think we better stop here. The next one is going to be very interesting. So I just don't want to rush because this is 1, 2, 3, because they are quoting from Brahma Samhita. All right. Yatava Brahma Samhita Purusha Rahasi Yasya Prabha Prabhavato Jaga Anda Koti Kotishvashesha Vishudadi Vibhuti Binnam Tat Brahma Nishkalam Ananta Shesha Bhutam Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajamin. This one we do it tomorrow. Right? So we stop here. So is there any questions, any comment? Please mark your book. We are at quality number 54. Okay. 54. The second last paragraph. It is confirmed in the statement of Brahma Samhita. Okay, it's confirmed. Okay. Please mark the book. It is confirmed. All right. In the page 186. Right. So tomorrow I think we can complete 56, 55, 56. Okay, it's not much. 63 and 64. Right. So if possible, tomorrow we'd finish our chapter 22. We finish all the 64 qualities of Krishna. And starting from Wednesday, we can start Krishna's personality. Now, we talk about all the Krishna's quality. Now, we're going to go into Krishna's personality. Dhirodata, Dhira Lalita, Dhira Prashanta, Dhirodata. It's going to be very, very beautiful topic. And further traits, decorated, enjoying, predominating, meticulous. Right. After this, all are short chapters. Okay. Stimulus, Stimulation of ecstatic love is going to be very interesting. Chapter 26. Okay. So like that. Okay. So any questions, any comment? All okay? Right. Anyway, thank you so much for joining today. Today is Bhishma Panchaka, I think second day, and tomorrow is the last day of Damodara. Okay. On this day, we have on it. Actually, I tried to start the class on Ekadasi day yesterday, but of course, my health was still not so good like now. So we meet again, and today is a very auspicious day. On this auspicious day, we will keep our mind, chant Hare Krishna. Okay, these last 5 days is very important to offer ghee lamp, offer as much as ghee lamp as possible, and pray to Krishna that you come to that level of understanding and to achieve success in devotional service. Till then, have a nice day. Vancha kalpatarubhishcha, kripa sindhubhyo vacha, paritaram pavinibhyo vaishnavibhyo namo. Hare Krishna. Have a nice day.